Isn't it wild to believe the Connecticut Leather Company, or Coleco, made one of the more popular gaming systems of the second generation? The company had success in other gaming markets, but when they decided to introduce their home console, it made a splash into the market with great arcade ports, the likes of which were never seen before. Now already Coleco had a lot to show for itself, but what did it have for a controller? Well, if you were paying attention, and hopefully you were, that question would already be answered. This is the ColecoVision controller, the primary controller for the ColecoVision. Now I'm sure you'll notice that it looks very similar to the primary controller to the Intellivision, but besides the physical differences that we'll highlight as we go along, a big difference between them is that you could unplug the Coleco controller from the system. Still looks like a cellular phone. This time you have an earpiece instead of a mouthpiece. On closer inspection, on top we have maybe the first iteration of a control stick. From a different angle you can see the circle is elevated upward in order to give it more freedom of movement and to better let you know which way you have it going. It's a little stiff but still a very effective C-stick. I can say with confidence that it's better than the control disc on the Intellivision. My thumb's lightheadedness has been cured, but then again I use a good part of my hand to move this around. Below the C-stick is the classic Coleco logo in between the two side buttons. These buttons will vary between games but will most likely do the same thing. You have one button for the righties and the other for the lefties. It was great to see forward thinking with companies taking into consideration what hands their consumers used, but I think it'd be in vain if you held the controller like this anyway. How do you hold this hand controller? The manual for the ColecoVision refers to these as that term as well. Below all of that is of course its own keypad. I would describe it as more stiff compared to the Intellivision's softer button feel, but nonetheless still effective with button input. Having a keypad is good and all, but it will get confusing when having to learn what buttons do what, but much like the Intellivision, Coleco used overlays with some of its games to help users figure that out with ease. You can almost say these controllers are distant cousins. Only the control placement and overall design separate them, not to mention different manufacturers. Guess what time it is? That's right, it's back of the controller time. Yowie wowie, it's just as bland as any other controller's back. Apart from the screws, all we have is the Coleco logo, Taiwanese origin, patent pending, and whatever this circle pi is. I'm not sure what it means, but I doubt it has to do with anything involving the mathematical constant. Maybe it means this controller could last infinitely, so I hope it'll last while I play some games. This controller can play almost all of the Coleco's library. I mean, that is what a primary controller is supposed to do. So you'll be able to play the greats like Mr. Do, Pepper 2, and Mousetrap with fun in mind and in hand. You should try Q*bert as well and see how playing diagonally works well with this controller. It does work well, I must say. It's very good and the inputs are direct. I hear also pressing 1 a lot works wonders. The ColecoVision controller is probably one of the better controllers of its type. Nothing really beat the single button and joystick that Atari had, but this sure came close with precision input and all around good feel. You'll definitely get this when getting a ColecoVision. I would be surprised if you didn't. These go hand in hand much like the Intellivision combo. Then again, since these are detachable, there is a slight chance they may be found without a console, but there are other options that I'll review at a future date. But I also heard another controller that was out after the Coleco's demise could work on the system. Isn't that wild? Got any fond memories with this controller/accessory? Tell me about it by leaving a comment. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like. If you think others would like this, share the video around. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button pronto. This is Brian the Blue, and I'll see you later.